effect for Charlie. Forward, the draw the sword. Forward, up and down.
Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War 2 with this Scottish campaign. The year is 1725, it's the winter of 1725, and the war with the Mahathans continue. I've already gone ahead and prepared by ending turn, so we have movements. But it also means that the enemy has moved around a little bit. So the enemy has been able to reinforce the troops up here. Previously, I sort of was moving back and forth here thinking I could out-resolve it and then cover the bridge. None of that happened, so both the armies were forced to retreat, so they're back here. Since this army has lost 5 units, I am currently recruiting 5 company infantry, which is going to come down from over here. But, I mean, they will recruit within 1 turn. But I fear that probably most of the war will be over before they're actually able to join the army. So we'll see. I don't think I showed it, but the Marathan Navy attacked and took this from us. And my trade ship was forced down in the corner here. But in terms of naval conflict, that's the only thing that's happened. Besides, of course, me blocking their ports. That also means that the army under Nicol Kinnard has moved up and is now laying siege to Goa, which has a slight garrison. They are trying to gather troops, some of them broken from the previous battle of the bridge, and also newly recruited troops that they're trying to gather in the capital. The general survived last time around. I have not been able to chase him down. I figure that he is heading away somewhere. I'm not entirely sure. What I could do is I could detach the cavalry and chase him down while the main army continues down towards Hyderabad, which would be their main target to reduce all the enemy's capital regions as soon as possible, just to end them. And then I'll have quite a lot of I'll have to put up with a lot in terms of dealing with all the rebels that's going to happen because I capture all this so quickly. But I think we'll start with that. So I'll detach all the cavalry units out of this army. And that's all of them. And send them off to go ahead and take out this general so he doesn't cause any more trouble. Oh, we will actually be reinforced by the army. He's only got 80 men left. If he had ditched the cannons, he'd probably be able to outrun me and disappear. But now that did not happen. He did a valiant fight. He took one of at least one of his bodyguards took one of ours. That's a weird way of saying it. They took one person each before they died, basically. The main army is going to advance through the town to gain that little bit extra movement. A little bit of a trick you might do, because a lot of these villages are placed on the roads. It's often better to go through the village, because otherwise the army will go around. It will go on the road, but it'll go around it, and you'd reduce a little bit of your movement range through that. So going through the towns actually helps quite a bit. In this case, he's gonna bypass the road, jump over there. I don't know if that was the best way of doing it. These guys were... I think I was sending these guys to attack the general. But clearly they never arrived. The cavalry is going to be a little bit slow. The thing is, though, once I reach this is an out-resolve. In terms of what's here, I'm thinking we are going to advance both armies to go ahead and fight this battle. But I'm thinking that is going to wait a little bit because I want to see if I could potentially out-resolve this. Doesn't look like it. I will demand surrender. They will refuse. I could continue to lay the siege. However, this entire force could be coming down on us. But I think more importantly, we've got 2 units here. And since we have nothing, basically here, I'm also burning the barracks. I'm burning the barracks up here as well, to make sure that the rebels have less once they take it. I'm gonna call out the cavalry from over here to go ahead and kill these, just so they don't recapture this province. And it's an out-resolve. The enemy force lose over half their men, and we lose close to 100 out of our 400 troopers, and the enemy is forced away. I guess we can have them roaming around here just to keep the Marathons away. I want the Mysores to turn up and them to claim it rather than the Marathons. With that said, we're gonna see about crossing the bridge and see if they intercept me.
Anything more?
Crossing the bridge? No, they did not. That will allow me to continue up through here. I still want enough movement range so that this army can double back.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, you don't actually reach. You reach though, but I want the named army to be the one to fight. So, unfortunately, I guess we'll do this battle then, but I want to do it as quickly as possible because this is going to be a large battle up here with lots of troops. So I'll do this as quickly as possible, and then we'll do the battle in the north. And so the battle is about to start. Probably the most, or the greatest advantage the Marathons have over me, as we've seen through previous battles, or the thing that I've actually made the biggest amount of casualties to my army is cavalry. And as we can see right now, we've got no enemy cavalry whatsoever. However, I did not see this. Just saw these Hindu warriors turn up in the woods here. Let's go ahead and turn these in. I do have the cannons back up on the hill, but I figured the enemy is so close, and with the angle of the hill, the cannons do not overlook as much as I perhaps would have liked. So I think we can turn some of these. Oh, they're actually got a armed local unit behind us. I'll send an additional unit down there. Oh, he's already gone. Then these two will actually be heading... we're about to get outflanked there. They tried to outflank us on 2 locations. There's no point in actually chasing this one down, but I'll send these 2 through to fight there. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so clearly, but not very good. I'm gonna order them to form square to give that morale bonus. And it also should give them a slight melee boost. Melee defense, I'm guessing. It'll be enough so that once the cavalry arrives, they can deal with it. I'm thinking the 31st should go directly and attack this unit right here, and then the second unit will swing around and attack them from the back. Oh, now it's changed. Now it's actually the enemy unit who's slowly breaking apart. However, my unit is down to 120 men at this point. So not doing too well. I haven't taken a look at the front line. I just know I have more men, so I'm imagining that that should be enough in terms of firepower to beat the enemy, but I did notice there that there were a couple of units that were quite low on men. This one has lost 80 men. There's another one that's lost 80, so they're focusing on these 2 right here. My cavalry just killed those. And the enemy is sort of reorganizing. I feel as though my artillery should be safe to target this unit right here. Oh, they had another hidden unit? Hindu warriors? No, it must be a unit that's rallied. It's only 90 men of them. I figure forming square will do the same trick as last time. Artillery firing at this now seems not a good idea, because my cavalry is right behind there. I'm surprised that the enemy makes a stand as well as they are, given the just overwhelming amount of men I bring to the fight. I figure that we'll call upon this weight of just manpower to crush them. So I'm ordering everyone into a melee charge, and hopefully we can shock the enemy into defeat. I'm pretty sure the musketeer units will be easily enough broken, but it might take a little bit more for me to break the melee units. Right, we're basically all focusing in on this one unit now in the center. Also at this point, the sepoy units should hold fire as to not shoot each other once they stop to hold. This unit, of course, is still here, but I'm thinking the artillery will deal with him as soon as he shows himself from within the town. And meanwhile, the overwhelming power of my troops have killed this unit as well. And the battle is over, I said, as we had one rallying for a split second to realize what a disaster that would make it, as they would be crushed under the weight of these thousands of troops. I think perhaps calling a charge there for cavalry probably trampled some of my own men. But yeah, we won the battle. There, that was perfect. Perfectly timed. Couldn't have gone better if I planned it. Probably would have gone worse if I planned it, given my current record. Here's the result of the battle. We deployed 3,500 men against 2,700. The enemy lost all of their troops. I'm actually surprised that I ended up losing 1,100 men. The firepower of my sepoys was really not enough. even though I outnumber them by almost 1,000 men, that firepower did not translate into a crushing victory right away. Cavalry killed the most, followed by some sepoy companies. Not much to be said there. In terms of the artillery, they didn't kill that much. I think the artillery would probably have done better if I'd rolled them up to fire canister into the enemy, rather than keep them back. That's good. I have now secured Goa. The problem with losing so many men is that the enemy army could very easily come in here and crush my force. I could at this point actually double back, force this navy to come out and face my navy, and I could sink them. But I think that's for another time. What I want to do is I want to see if we can get this battle going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end turn. We'll see if they attack here. If they attack, actually, if they attack here, I wouldn't want to lose Kinnard completely, so I would place him outside. But it might be easier to defend the town if I don't do that. I'll set it up like it is right now, and we'll end turn and we'll hope that they're just sitting here building strength, because they can't be very rich at this point. Affluent, so they're losing military power as well as economic power. Austria is desperate for a military alliance. They would give me... they demand selective breeding. Oh yeah, I purchased selective breeding, but I can't remember from who. I paid quite a lot for it. They want to give me... Moldavia? The Moldavia region? I always want more regions, but I don't think Moldavia fits my needs. So unfortunately, Leopold, this is a no. We've got enemy raids. They raid the port here, which I don't care too much about. Path locked. Ah, the Marathan rebels, or the Mysore rebels. I thought it was going to be a bigger force. This is Levy Mob. Is nothing. Then I could perhaps protect the town actually against the mob. I should have thought about that. I should have sent in more troops then. Or actually I can have the what's it called? The army at Goa double back to join in. Because I'm sure Goa will revolt as well, because they're mostly Iberian, or like it's a split in between Iberian, Hindu Indians, Hinduism. What? There's two different types of Hindus. I don't get that. Workers on strike, trades gained. Troops recruited in Hindustan, and we got some stuff built. So this port should not yet be built out because of the potential unhappiness of the region. And then this, though, should actually be built out. Right, so ahead of my advance on Hyderabad, the enemy actually decides to leave it entirely. Which means Douglas Hume can just go ahead in and seize it. And the town, to save itself, surrenders. And then the cavalry comes up right behind it. Wonderful. Remove all of this.
this army could actually easily be stopped by that, so I'm gonna double back with Kinnard's army. And we're gonna make sure that we've got a few units that actually can take part in the battle there. I'm gonna move up more cavalry. The guns and the infantry. The general could actually join, but I don't know how much that would actually aid. But that means that I have 4 units of cavalry ready to take on the rebels, and hopefully that will be enough to deal with that. And we seized this territory. This one should be built to be held. Iron workshop. That's good. We put that in. Also, build out the roads. They haven't built out the roads in this region. Looks okay. And then the spy could hang around here with these guys. Right, so now comes the real bit here, because we need to attack this.
Your Majesty?
Which is quite the battle. I wonder... The other battle I just had was kind of short. Right, I mean, at this point I feel like it's one of those things where the battle we're looking at right here is... Oh, it's not actually that bad. They have not been able to replenish enough troops in their army. 4,500 men with 780 in reinforcements. That is actually not that bad. What I could have done, I think, is I could have moved some of Finley's artillery over into Kirk Cohen's army. Anyways, let's go ahead and break the Mahathans and slay their best general. And there the battle is off. We started off marching forward the troops. I'm thinking here that I'm going to use more canister in this battle, so I'm actually sending 2 batteries forwards to take part more in the battle. I'm keeping 1 on this heightened ground right here, mostly just to fire into the enemy's cavalry. They decided to put all the cavalry like this at the start, so I fired at that, and we got some pretty good hits, killing a load of them. I think if I manage to get my lines up and ready, we should be able to kill them quite easily. I'm gonna order all my troops here actually to run. And when I set up my army, I forgot about the grenadiers, so they were kind of tacked on over here. So the Irish, well, are here. They've been supplemented with 1 superior line infantry, and then we've got superior line infantry on this side with this is the pike unit that's moving forward. The pike unit should actually be moving against this unit, but I think looks like they're backing off. The cannon on the hill should actually be focusing in on that, and you should form into square now. You should form into square. They're riding right in front of the cavalry here, which is kind of crazy. The dragoons trying to get an angle to fire at them. Here's my battery coming up, but I'm gonna have to hold it back a little bit because, well, the bloody enemies, cavalry charges that are going in. They're focusing in a lot here, and I think the unit that I'm targeting with my artillery is probably within range there. You should form into square. Oh, they've charged my cavalry over here. Then I should counter-charge. It looks sort of fine until I notice that this unit is falling back. And basically the entire... Maybe I should actually deploy this gun already. But I'll be more careful where to fire Right here, my normal setup seems to be working in that the square here is clearly holding the enemy back. Haven't been able to place this cannon though for canister work. I'll place it like that, and then I could potentially fire that way. So far it's only one unit that have been broken on this side. There's a lot of cavalry, most of it is actually mine. So right now there's nothing to fire at. Oh, completely missed that we had an elephant unit that charged straight into here. I feel as though this side of the army should be able to kind of reorganize itself to aid in the struggles of the units down here. Also, if I can remove the cavalry and then have them come back again. Or you definitely need to stay in square. You need to leave as soon as possible because there's a bunch of canister about to come in. And it worked. The canister worked. However, the units on this side terribly low on manpower, and looks like the elephants here broke through. Gordon Highlanders is now fighting the elephants. I'm gonna send in my melee units to try and deal with this. You're gonna have to join bayonet style against these. This one is sort of set up. Oh, they have fired. I do not. Oh, Jared was the unit. Surprise, surprise. Jared was blown away by the. I've ordered you to fire canister at this, right? Break the squares and run for the hills. I think the angle here is stopping me from getting the canister to go in. The elephants were dealt with, and now the Highlanders will continue on and try and save this superior line infantry. James Graham's own. Why is it always they are aiming for the named units? Can you do canister that way? They always somehow manage to hit those named units. I don't think that canister did that well. Also, this battle seems to be this battle is going to be over a lot quicker than I thought. Actually, do not try and route some units over here. The problem with fighting these armies is you don't really ever have time to fully prepare your force. Or what I perhaps should have done is sit back at where I spawned, basically, and not moved forward to meet the enemy. You should be able to destroy that. And then from up here you can aim at the elephants over here. Order my cavalry back. Right, they dealt with that. Switch around shot and go for the elephant unit. It's cleared away here, so you can fire canister through here. want the cavalry to head high. Most of the retreating units, I do note that there's kind of very few of them on the field, and most of the ones that are here are kind of completely cut apart. Raja put archers. Oh, they meant the AI always managed to place stakes that I become completely, like, I always miss those. And clearly a lot of my dragoons rode onto them over there. I'll recall this cavalry. Something I forgot about. My heavy cavalry. But they can be used to deal with the 3 straggling units that are sitting out here. I'm surprised you're still holding on. Right, here comes a charge of the Highlanders. I will go ahead and move these 2 batteries to get in better position to fire this out here. And then you can start targeting... Oh, it's an artillery unit out there. Start targeting that. Scots Hussars. Let's see, did James Graham's Own and Jared, both units, severely savaged by the amount of losses and forced back? But I would say here that the battle has been thoroughly won. I'll send 2 of the Irish units forward to aid the Highlanders. The problem with the Highland charge here is that they should have spread out around the unit, so they actually could have come around and overwhelmed it. Now that we've got a superior number of troops, but they're all kind of stuck behind it. And then this artillery piece will be pushed forward here. Oh, we've got... Yes, those reinforcing units are turning up. The Grenadier Brigade will advance, and then we'll have the Mixed Brigade advance. Oh, I completely forgot what happened with the pikeman that was over there. This unit's coming a little bit too close. Switch to canister. I do have a dragoon here that can ride out and probably help a little bit. And then I want you... Oh, he's dug in, is he? Right, you can fire on the units out here. And you're also gonna fire on that unit. Right, so all the Highland units is gonna be moved to the back, and then the Irish, and I think there's a... No! My battery! Wait, the spikes extended all the way up here? Wait! My line was right here. How were they able to deploy the spikes all the way up here? Jesus Christ, that's a problem with such massive units. I'll tell this one, they reload and be ready to fire, but clearly it's not the best opportunity to fire right now. God damn those bloody spikes. Damn those spikes. Right. These units called forward.
Artillery reporting.
Don't really reach, I don't think. However, I don't think I have much of a choice, so I don't think they're gonna get any closer. Oh, they are actually. Potentially. Most of those shots seem to have gone over. I'll allow you to fire at will. God damn that I lost that battery. There's no other spikes forward here as the heavy cavalry charges. Ah! There's a few. Heavy cavalry should be able to deal with this though. I'll have 2 of them come at that unit from that angle. And then 1 unit going straight up through here. Actually, hold already. And see if you can perhaps throw grenades above the friendly unit. Oh, you reach with canister all the way over there. Almost 200 men throwing hand grenades. The enemy unit retreats long before the grenades get close. Alright, let's take a look at the heavy cavalry. It's capturing zone. Firing more or less at point blank range. Now you will ride forward. Didn't I order you to charge in? You will hold fire, because there's a risk of you firing on the second unit. Canister from this should quite easily destroy the enemy. Oh, you're a pike unit. Didn't realize that. Fire on that, and you as well. Yeah, they are gonna easily destroy that, so I'll take the 3rd unit right up behind the battery and destroy that, so I don't have to waste my time on that. I want to see. This should be rather perfect for the fire here. And then the second battery up on the hill should fire on this as well. We should be closer to the end here. I did not like that. That's a bit too. The canister spread went a little bit too high, and we seem to have missed most of the troops. Bounced pretty well at the back end, though. Yeah, they're not. They should be closer to the edge to be able to do a proper attack there. Right, the enemy was destroyed there. Very few casualties on the heavy cavalry. 2 men in either unit. Actually, I'll order them to halt already, just in case there's spikes and shit out there. Let's get the cavalry in behind here. There's 1 of those units that's very low number, the Scots Hussars. We'll leave them behind and bring up the rest of the cavalry behind the enemy. Yeah, most of these shots are hitting the enemy sort of in the back there, which is not really working out. Perhaps better to bounce round shot through the unit then. Let's see, the dragoons, order them to ride all the way up. I think because we're about to charge, we'll tell them to hold fire. Oh, here's the spikes. I forgot about the spikes for a 3rd time, seemingly. Well, the first time it was I completely missed the spikes, and then the second time I didn't realize they'd been extending those spikes as far as they had. But this time around, I don't think there was an excuse, because I clearly knew they were there. But they so easily blend in with the rest of the environment that you very easily forget them when you try and micromanage either stuff. And like from this range up here, where you normally control your troops, they're invisible. They're completely invisible. And then with the smoke and stuff, you can barely see them at this range unless you know they're there. They only really become clear at sort of this level. And even then, at a certain angle, you might miss them still. But in the end, I won the battle. However, this army is seemingly slowly losing quite a lot of units. They get completely destroyed. But once these guys are done with, we'll hopefully be able to avoid cavalry-heavy factions from now on. And we can continue our traditional warfare against traditional enemies. Here's the victory of this battle. And here's the result of the battle. I deployed 12,000 men, although only about 6,000 took part in the battle. The enemy deployed 5,200, where which 4,400 lie dead on the battle. I ended up losing 2,400 men. And what I can see here is the second pike unit is gone. The second pike unit has hit the dirt. Besides that, the Scots Hussars are gone as well. So 2 units were lost in this battle. Not too bad comparatively, because in the previous battle I lost like 5. The highest kills goes to a battery, probably the one that was pushed forward from fire and canister. Then we have Cavalry of Highlanders, Irish Infantry, Scottish Cuirassiers, Pikemen. This pike unit that was completely destroyed. Killed a lot, only 9 men remaining, and then we can gonna go through here. I don't think, besides the one of the Cuirassiers, most likely, no, actually, I'm not entirely sure if these Cuirassier units are well, you know, yeah, one of these is Catherine's own, but I'm not entirely sure which one. But besides that, I don't think we really see any named unit up top here. Royal Guard Cavalry. One of these is Hendrik's Lions. But they don't turn up on the top statistics here. Unfortunately, there was Jared. This is Jared. He was forced back. And then Graham's own was also forced back after heavy losses. But the important thing is that the Marathons... I didn't actually kill the general. But then again, usually I don't really go for killing enemy generals. This army will retreat to recover. And also wait to receive these troops. They moved a lot faster than I thought they would. Within 2 turns, they will be ready. This one can actually almost push through here, but I want to clear the way. So we're going to out-resolve here. And then there's a single unit up here. Let's make sure that we destroy this. And then another victory.
Your orders, Your Majesty.
Then we'll replenish the army. And it's not looking too good for the Marathons at this point. They have 2 territories left. They do inflict quite a bit of damage on me. As we can see, this army has lost a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 units have been lost out of this army. Completely destroyed. Let's see, Graham's own. They still have 4 experience. Catherine's Guard has 4 experience. Hendrik's Royal Lions have 2. Haven't really been able to put them into action, perhaps, as much. Gordon Highlanders, 4. Jared, 2. But then again, he's lost a lot of his experienced men, so no surprise there. Let's see, who else do we have? Clan MacDonald Ranald, 3. They fought an elephant this time around, so half the unit gone. But they fought a bloody elephant. We're missing someone. Are we not? Gordon Highland, Wallace Warband. Where is Wallace Warband? Is Wallace Warband... Had I missed that Wallace Warband was one of the melee units that got destroyed in the previous battle? In the previous... The Highland Warriors are gonna be phased out after this war because they're not really that useful. Let's see. That's all the units, yes. There's no other unit that we need to check because unfortunately Wallace Warband was destroyed. I can't recruit a new one, so we'll just go ahead and rename one of the others to Wallace Warband. But here we go. This is the current state of the war. The enemy only has 2 territory left, and in terms of what they have here, I was gonna say most of them were not at full strength, but there's sort of 50-50 in terms of full strength and broken down units. And in terms of the amount of money the Mahathans have, at this point I'm surprised if they weren't feeble, because they only hold 2 towns left, totaling about, oh look at that, war awareness, -12. As much as I moan about losing, you know, 8 units, the enemy has lost, how many units can they have lost? Probably 100, I imagine. 100 units or so. Well, 100 is a bit much, but probably 75. We've fought a lot of these big full stacks. So we crushed them, killed a load of those units. So I think it wouldn't be too much to say that 60 to 70 units have been completely wiped out of the Mahathans. Right, but since we had 2 battles, this is probably a pretty long episode, so we should end it right here. Next time around, we'll be able to finalize the defeat of the Mahathans, and I can reform the armies once more. And with that said, I will be saying, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!